Wazazi, leo ni siku yetu. Vuta stool na kiti karibu na radio na TV. We have an interesting conversation, very important conversation that we want to get into as we talk about parenting in this digital age. Life has changed so much. I remember back in the day when we were growing up, you know, I keep remembering how when we talk about television, one station, it would start broadcasting at 5 p.m. all the way until 10. Alafu inafungwa. Mulale. You know, if any house had a video player, those were rich people. Computers don't even go there. We had not even gotten to that space. If you want to do your research, you go to the library, yes, and dig through the books. But when you look at life today, a lot has changed, a lot. Technology has brought a lot of conveniences. Technology has brought in a lot of knowledge, both good and bad. Nowadays, entertainment is at your convenience. You watch it when you want to watch it. Back in the day, if you miss it when it aired on TV, forget about it. There was no way of getting it back. But nowadays, with technology, the internet, social media, a lot is available. And that's the scenario we are in today as we parent this generation. What challenges are parents facing today, and how can they overcome those challenges? That is what we want to get into this morning on Parenting Tuesday. Today we get to hang out with a marriage and family therapist. I have in studio with me today, Mary Njora Nyoike. How are you doing?
I'm very fine, thank you.
Karibu sana.
Asante.
I'm sure you can identify with the things that I'm saying.
Yes, all of them. And I think you have started very far because even telephone, when I was in school, to reach my parents,
yes,
I had to write a letter that would take like 3-4 weeks if it is an emergency.
Ooh.
In my village, there was only one home which had a telephone connection because the owner used to work with post office.
With posta, yes.
Yes. So you can imagine people used to queue there to reach their loved ones, to communicate good and sad news.
Wow.
It was, but people were comfortable.
People were comfortable.
They were very comfortable.
And life was moving on.
Yeah.
You know, I remember going to high school, the most important thing was stamps.
Yes.
Because if you don't have a stamp,
and envelopes.
yes, you can't send a letter.
Yes, yes.
When you think about today, parenting in this digital age, what would you say are some of the main challenges you see parents facing?
Okay, before you even get to challenges, let's just appreciate that technology is here with us.
It is, and it's not going anywhere.
And it is here to stay.
Yes.
And we have benefited a lot.
True, true.
Right now, I can do therapy online.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that is what Corona did to us.
Clients don't have to come to the office.
Clients don't have to come to office. They don't have to miss their sessions because they are at work. They can do it over lunchtime. They can do it after 5.
Yes.
They just need to get a secure place. And as they wait for jam, they can have their session.
Yes.
So technology has done so much to us. You can be able to connect even with your loved one when they are very far. The other day, my mom-in-law is in US, she's unwell. I was able to talk to her on her hospital bed all the way. And so technology is good.
Yeah.
And has brought a lot of goodness to us.
Yes.
However,
I was waiting for the however.
Yeah, however, it has come with very, very serious challenges.
Okay.
And especially to the young ones who may not be, who may be sometimes excited to use a smartphone, who may be excited to get into a funny app. So, and this is where the parent is coming in.
Yeah.
And especially the age that we are targeting today, the teens and adolescents.
The teens and, yeah.
And this talk would not have come at a better time like this, when we have 2 whole months with our children at home.
Some parents are already spinning around. They don't know what to do for these 2 months.
One thing that I want to submit to parents, I included, I'm a mother of 3 and a grandmother of 2.
Wow.
So my children fall between 27
Yes.
and 16.
Okay.
So you can imagine the journey.
Yes.
Parenting is a responsibility.
Yeah.
It is
It
a
is.
responsibility,
It
which
is.
you cannot choose to ignore. If you do, ignore that responsibility. One thing you'll not be able to ignore is the consequences of that ignorance. So, as these challenges, we talk about them. we need to know that this group, the teenagers, the age between 12 and 21,
Yeah.
number one, they are forming their identity. They are exploring.
Mm-hmm.
They will start challenging you as a parent, your ideologies,
Yes.
what you have trained them to do, several things. So this is the stage where the parent need to really take that responsibility seriously.
And I think the challenge with that, what you've just said, you know, they're crafting their identity.
Yes.
I think when I think back to our generation, it was not as complicated because we didn't have a lot of information.
Yes.
Yeah, information was very scanty.
Yes.
But now there's information everywhere, good, bad, ugly,
Yes.
all of it packaged
Yes.
together.
Yes.
And our teenagers, our preteens are interacting with this information, whether we know it or not, and it's forming their thoughts
Yes.
and crafting their identity.
Yeah, their thought patterns and
Yes.
crafting their identity.
Yeah.
Now with this technology, one of the main challenges, you know, we are not equals. Even when you put your son or a daughter in a school,
Yeah.
it is a place of extremes. So even the community where we are living, those things you are mentioning, TV and everything, there are still some homes which do not
Which
have
do
those
not
high tech machineries or
Bado wako-
gadgets.
bado wako na TV ya mgongo.
Na huyu mtoto is forming an identity.
True.
And want to associate and to feel okay with these people. So that can affect their esteem, it can affect their identity formation. And we say if your identity is not formed at adolescent, the likelihood is that you'll be confused.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The psychologist Erik Erikson called and named that stage identity versus role confusion. So you either form an identity or you get confused and confused forever.
Okay.
So this is one age that really parents need to up their game. Technology as a challenge to parents. Most of us, even me, if this phone of mine has a problem,
Yeah.
I may have to look for my 16-year-old son.
Yes.
He's on to fix it. So they know so much that we do not know. So sometimes you may not be at par with what
Yeah.
they know.
With what they know.
So parenting style will dictate how you're going to manage. Because, and even the relationship, because however you've been relating with this child, from 0 years to this 12-year age, when they are doing that grade 6 thing and going to secondary school, how you have been connecting with that child, how you have been relating with that child is very, very important. So challenge is that lack of information. And you know Kenyans, as we are known, hatupedi vitabu. Hatupedi kusoma. So this information is there, and sometimes parents are either ignorant or they don't get access to that information, or they are too busy
with other things to even consider looking into that.
So there are several challenges, because when they over-engage with the social media, like we said earlier, their thought patterns are wired to some of those thoughts or some of that information, which may be very dangerous or is not good for their consumption. Yeah.
Before you even jump into that, I think for me, one of the things that I find that sometimes as parents we fail to consider is we try to parent our children the way we were parented. Now, we know life without the internet.
Yes.
We know life without a mobile phone. Yeah, we know it. We lived it. We know life where you have one TV station and it begins at 5 and by 10 they've shut down. Yeah, that's how we grew up. We know it's possible to live that way. But we forget we've given birth to children in an age of technology.
Yes.
They don't understand life without Wi-Fi.
Yes.
How? They don't see the possibility of life without a smartphone. What are you talking about? How do people survive? I'm surprised some children don't even know what a radio is. A friend of mine was telling me how he had an interview at a radio station and he was telling his children, I'm going to radio. And what is radio? Because they don't watch radio, they're always on YouTube.
Yeah,
they don't listen to radio, they're always on YouTube and all these other apps. So how do we bridge that gap intentionally as parents? because we know life without those things, and we're expecting our children to live life without these gadgets. But them, they're thinking, how? It's not possible.
Now, that is, what you're saying is very right. And we have to be intentional. Self-awareness.
Self-awareness.
Like for me,
Yeah.
I know where I grew up, there are so many activities around for me during the holidays.
Yeah.
Even in the, not even where I grew up now, there are no that's such activity. You can see the way there is a lot of buildings coming up, even where the agriculture used to take place.
Yes.
And people are struggling. So, number one, parents, they need to get as much information as possible. And our children can train us to do that. You just need to have a relationship with them. You don't have to ambush them. You don't have to do like being very authoritarian. You just need to connect with them. You just need to ask a simple question.
Yeah.
How much do you know about TikTok? And what is it all about?
And they'll tell you.
I think they'll tell you, depending on the relationship. That is why
depending on the relationship,
Depending
yes.
on the relationship.
Yeah.
What goes on in the TikTok? How does this benefit you, say, in your academics?
Yes.
How you're going to relate with your brothers, your siblings? Number one, challenge going back kidogo, that has now really been for this digital thing, is that it kind of has removed the one-on-one. I don't know whether you've realized, even when you go for family gatherings,
Yes.
you expect your children to be relating with their nieces, with their
Yes.
cousins, with their peers,
Yes.
but all of them are.
The moment they walk in, they ask for password. And everybody's in their own corner.
In their own corner.
Yeah.
So that is also killing
Social interaction.
social interaction,
Yeah.
and also generating other dangerous things, because when you are isolated from one-on-one communication, in most cases you are alone, you are isolated. It can also bring about some mental health issues.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yeah, because even maybe what you are reading is something that is not very, very good. And maybe you're not even able to share it.
With others.
Because,
Yeah.
with others. And even if you share with it, you have already consumed it. Yes. So, that is a big challenge. And I would really want to urge our parents, during this holiday, let us encourage our children. Even when we go visiting, let's have that one. At least when you are at home, you are with your phone. When you meet with your friends, when you meet with your cousins, when you meet with your grandma, have those one-on-one conversations.
I think, you've talked about mental health.
Yes.
I think there are those internal issues that arise because of exposure to some of these
Yes.
technological advancements that we have that we don't see immediately. We begin to notice the repercussions later. And I think for parents, that's a huge danger.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It is.
I keep telling parents in church, don't raise up your child with a phone because it's the easiest thing to do.
Yes.
2-year-old, when you get home, they want your phone. They know how to navigate through the apps. They know the app for their music or for their game. And they're glued there for 2 hours. But you as a parent, you're thinking, there's peace in the house. Yeah, but you don't know how it's affecting your child.
Yes.
Or the video games they are playing.
Yeah.
A lot of violence and things like that. What can you speak into that scenario? Because it's the easy way out for many parents when they need peace in the home. Play a video game, take the phone.
Yeah. What technology has done, and especially to that age I'm saying, about between 12 and 21,
Yeah.
in that formation of identity, it has brought a lot of mental health issues, anxiety, low self-esteem,
Wow.
and at the extreme, even suicide.
Even suicide.
Yeah, suicide, because we have several cases where
Okay.
somebody got into an app
Okay.
and followed the app. And finally, nobody had noticed any sign or symptom of a mental health issue. But people just hang themselves.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So it is something that really need to be checked in terms of how it is affecting our children, and even know how we can regulate at a personal level and even at a corporate level.
Yeah.
Because some of these material that they watch is not regulated. Nobody looks into it. It just pumps.
It's just,
pumps. Number two, parents, we are very good at maybe maybe appreciating. You know, when we are buying these gadgets, it's not that we hate our children.
No. Yeah.
We want them to feel
want
good
them to
and,
have the best.
and to have the best.
Yes.
But then, every choice comes with its responsibility. And that's what we started saying, that
Yeah.
it is about responsibility.
Responsibility.
If you give your 12-year-old a smartphone with all the apps in it, without training them or warning them or helping them understand what the gadget is for,
Yeah.
it's just like giving someone a loaded gun. Protect yourself. And you have not trained them how to use it.
How to use it.
So what are they going to do?
They will experiment with it.
They will experiment with it, and the chances are they'll kill themselves with a gun.
Yes.
And that is what is happening in the digital world. You give your child, you have no time to train them,
Yeah.
you have no time to monitor what they are watching, and then they just use them to destroy themselves. Yes.
So where does that leave us as parents? Because when we began this conversation, we began by talking about the good things
Yes.
about technology. Because we can't deny technology has made life easier,
Yes.
convenient, it's given us access to so many things. But then there's also these other things. So as a parent then, with that understanding, how do I ensure that I maximize so that my children get the best out of this technology and not the worst?
And they were not the
Yeah,
worst,
yeah.
yes. Those things we have said them, but we can repeat them. Number one, you have to establish a good and working relationship with your children.
When does this begin?
Early enough.
Because sometimes I've seen parents who want to start developing that when their children are preteens or when they're already teenagers and they're beginning to get wayward, is when as parents we're trying to catch up, because before then we were too busy with other things.
Yes,
Yeah.
unfortunately, but it is not all lost. If you are able to start it early, because I believe all parents are watching.
Yeah.
A parent with a 0-year-old baby,
Yes.
a parent with 1-year-old baby.
And with a
there is something we
27-year-old.
call, in a technical term, in MFT world, attachment trauma. That if you fail to secure a very, if you fail to establish a secure attachment with your child early enough, even and the mothers as they breastfeed,
Yeah.
you as a father, when this child has been born, if you fail to establish a secure attachment, the child develops something we call attachment trauma.
Okay.
And we are having a lot of that in therapy.
Oh, really?
Children who feel neglected, who feel isolated, who feel abandoned, who feel they are not at all connected with their primary caregivers, the parents.
The parents, wow.
So this attachment trauma will, anything, when now they start forming an identity and realize, by the way, I've not had any connection. Anything at their disposal
Yes.
becomes their friend. Technology, with the smartphone you have given them
Yeah.
to become their friend.
Yeah.
Food in the house will become their friend. They will develop a lot of maybe unhealthy relationship with peers who appreciate them, who they are. So what we're saying is that as early as possible, research says that a growing child needs to have a secure attachment, at least with one parent.
At least.
Yeah, at least with one parent.
Okay.
Which means if you're a single parent out there, you can work it out and have a very secure attachment. Attachment will help this child establish a very good relationship with you.
Okay.
You will win their trust. You will be able to communicate very well, openly and honestly. And this is where now the conversation can begin. Yeah. So whatever you have been doing, how you have been interacting, and for men, because I am an ambassador of the boy child, my research was actually on a boy child
Nice.
and mentorship
Yes.
through the rite of passage. For men, you know, even taking your son to a Kenyusi, having a walk around the estate, even if it is 15 minutes,
Yeah.
you don't have to tell them anything. Just be there.
Be there.
Be present. Be there. So, you know, checking their homework, asking them about their school, their friends. What do you think about when you see my phone? Number 3, which is very important, that we have to be role models.
Ooh.
You cannot tell your son who is 14 years that he's spending so much time on his phone. Whereas when you get home, you are always on your phone, interacting with your friends. And unfortunately, even some parents get into those funny apps, and their children know. So you have to role model, because children learn through observation.
Don't preach water and you're drinking wine.
It is not what you preach.
Yeah, it is what you do.
It is what you practice that will influence your child. So we have a duty and a responsibility as parents.
This morning, Parenting in the Digital Age, we're hanging out with marriage and family therapist Mary Njora Nyoike in studio with us. My good friend, Reverend Bernard Warui, how are you doing? It's good to know you're tuned in today. You say, good morning, I use Google Family Link. It's a Google app that links the children's phone to yours. It helps you set limits, monitor usage, and for any app to be downloaded, you have to approve it. It tells you how much time is spent on each app. You can disable any app remotely or even switch off the entire phone remotely if need be. We have an agreement with my teen daughter on its use, and we discuss and monitor together. Hey, my friend. That's a good one right there. That's a good one. This is, I usually get very different views when it comes to the issue of at what age should I allow my children to own
their phones,
their own smartphones, not just phone, smartphone. I want to get your views, because a good number of parents say, mpaka afike 18. There are those parents, their child is 6 years. If you look at the smartphone they have, you compare it to yours and you're thinking, I need to be serious with my life. This is a 6-year-old and they have a better smartphone than myself. That's what the parents have provided.
Their teachers.
Than their teachers as well. So what are your thoughts?
Yes. No, first of all is to commend that parent, because it means there's a relationship. We have agreed.
We have agreed,
so there's a relationship.
Very true.
And in marriage and family therapy, we say, invest in the relationship with your spouse, with your partner, with your children. Kila kitu yote itajireta. Once you're able to have a good working relationship. Now, my thoughts about what age should a child own a phone. Number one is to know that development sometimes does not agree. Cognitive development does not agree with chronological age.
Oh, okay, okay.
So you could be 12,
but
and what we call maturity, you could be more reasonable than a 14 or 15, depending on various issues.
True.
The growth and development. So what we say about parents, we may not be able to dictate at what age, because like where we started, we also said it as time goes. My firstborn daughter owned her first phone after she cleared Form 4. And it was a gift from the uncle, because she made it. And she made him proud. But come Corona thing, even my son was in class 7, had to get a phone. Because even the communication from the school, the homework,
was on the phone.
They couldn't use my phone the way they use, because I'm at work and they're at home. So this we leave it to the parent. One time, as a pediatrician who used to treat my children told me, you are the best doctor for your own child. You know the medication that your child takes and diarrheas. You know the food that your child eats and reacts to it. And our children are very different. So if you establish that working relationship with your children, and cohesively you are able to bring your family together, there are certain issues that you will not struggle, like agreeing. Since I have realized that you take so much time during the holidays, because every school, there is an outcry in nearly every school, including where my son is, that they have realized when the children go back, hakuna masomo imekuwa ikiendelea during the holidays, and that is measured with their opener. So you can use the outcome of various things to measure at what level do I allow these people a free will. But anyway, at age 18 is a good age if parents are able to work with that. But also, even in the lower ages, because of what is happening,
Yeah.
that they need the gadgets.
need the gadgets.
Like now, when you're at work, you need to communicate with them. They
Yeah.
don't. They can't go to their neighbors to receive your phone from
Yes.
there. So it is about monitoring. It is about responsibility. It is about setting rules in the house that can be help the family to be functional.
Somebody once said, we're having this same discussion, and somebody said that for them, the key thing that we need to think about is establishing and teaching values.
Yes.
Forget about technology and gadgets and all that, because if I have not been taught values, then I will not have boundaries around my life.
Yes,
I will gravitate in whatever direction I feel like gravitating. And so this parent was saying, when I teach my children the values that I want us to live by early,
Yes.
yeah, even when they go on the online space, it becomes the foundation upon which they begin to make decisions.
Yes.
That because of what we believe as a family, this is not good.
Yes.
Because of what we believe as a family, this one is questionable. Daddy, what do you think about this one? I don't know if you agree with that or you have a different thought.
No, I do fully agree.
Uh-huh.
If I could quote one researcher called Mushemi,
Yes.
he said that the family is the basic socializing agent, where the children need or should learn standards of behavior.
Uh-huh.
And in the family, this is where a child will learn to say even small things like sorry,
Yeah.
excuse me,
Thank you.
can I use your phone, can I use this? If you establish that, the right values and morals,
Yeah.
you ground them on that. And in the Bible, Proverbs 22:6,
Yes.
the key word is train.
Train.
So training and coaching is about morals, it's about faith,
Yeah.
it's about responsibility, it's about respect, it's about honor, it's about being a vessel
Yeah.
of honor wherever you go. So I agree with that parent. And if you don't do it in the where we are staying, if your child is not safe in your own house,
In your own house.
it is unlikely that they're going to be safe
In someone else's
anywhere
house.
in the world.
Oh.
And that is why your child may appear to be very good at home.
Yeah.
But when he goes to school, he's the one being accused of stealing other conduct disorder, recruiting people to
Yeah.
violate rules in school.
Yeah.
Because you may think that is courage, but that is fear. They are not safe. They are very insecure.
Okay.
Yeah. So safety in terms of what you ground them,
Yeah.
let them feel free. And that's why we are saying encouraging open and honest communication. And even the parenting style, how you deliver that is also very
It's also very important.
Yeah.
True.
Your authority needs to be acknowledged and respected.
True.
Yes.
How then, as a parent, do I create the balance where I'm still able to monitor what my children are doing online, and at the same time, at least I accord them some sort of privacy. Especially now they are growing, they are teenagers, you know, they are getting to become young adults. They also need their space to explore, become, but I also need to be aware of what they are getting themselves into.
Yes.
How do I maintain that balance?
Number one thing we have said is the parent has a responsibility in inculcating
Yes.
a sense of responsibility, especially to these young ones who are now maturing,
Yes.
who are really forming an identity. There's one thing that I have tried and other parents have tried and it has worked. So now they're at home.
Yes.
How do they survive in school? How are they able to go to class on time?
Yes.
How are they able to go for lunch on time?
Yeah.
How are they able to be in the dormitory, in the field at the right time? They use a timetable. For you to be here, you have a diary,
Yes.
a personal diary that tells you, I have to wake up at 5 because I need to be in studio by 6.
Yes.
So let's, as we inculcate a sense of responsibility, this can work for parents. Let every child have a timetable that you also can peruse and ask questions.
Okay.
We don't want to lock them out of TV. We don't want to lock them out of social media. They have friends, they have cousins, they need to interact with them. So let them have a timetable
Uh-huh.
to ensure that your child is not on phone from 6 a.m., the time they woke up, to midnight.
Yes. Their phone is consistently on the charger. There's issue
Yeah,
moto.
it is also good. Let's see that timetable. I spent 2 hours doing my maths homework.
Yeah.
I spent 1 hour chatting with my brother just like that, or playing outside for young ones. Those who are playing is very important.
Yeah.
I also spent some time even doing washing utensils. Give them responsibilities. Let them have a timetable that is full. That digital thing, sitting, is limited in terms of how much they also have to accomplish in a day.
So timetable is not just for studying and education.
No.
It's for life.
It's for life.
Yes.
Yeah. After this, where am I going? I need to know exactly after 8, where am I going? Because I can't just start going around Nairobi wondering, what should I do next? You know, we need to help our children
Yeah.
become responsible as early as possible.
possible.
So what we are saying, number one, if I can say what my doctor said, that you know your children. You know yule anatakanga kukua kwa simu saa yote.
Yeah.
You know, they tell us interesting things in therapy.
Yeah.
That when I take my book to do homework, I start dozing. But I can be on my phone up to 2 a.m. Up to 2 a.m. Then, these household rules. By 10, what are you doing on phone?
Yes.
Who is awake at this time?
Yes.
What is this communication?
That is when
For Form 1.
that is when the bad things begin to happen online.
So there are families and parents who have agreed at 10, all the phones are off.
Yeah.
Apart from maybe for the parent, because in case of an emergency. So, and because like what the pastor has said, the parent.
Yes.
That you can actually establish an app that regulates
Yes.
what is happening
What is
in
happening.
the house. Because even the Bible tells us that you spare the rod. In this time, we are not saying you take the rod and beat them.
Yeah.
The rod this time, the rod at this particular moment and at this particular stage is how authoritative you are as a parent,
Yes.
to ensure that everything is regulated. Not only social media, but
everything.
Everything is regulated.
Listen to this comment from a parent in Kisumu. He said nowadays people have really missed to spell the age their children and have normalized things. Recently visited a house and I was surprised to see a 3-year-old demanding for a phone just for the mother to play for him his favorite song. The song was called Odongo Swaga, the Ohangla. Very sad. The way the child was dancing, it is said what you consume is what you become. Thanks to God, all my 3 children got a hold of their phone when they were going to university. Thank you for this conversation. Wow. Some things look cute when the children are young. When they are toddlers and they are running around the house and they are dancing, all these things, they look cute at that age. But sometimes as parents, we have no idea the seed we are planting.
The seed we are planting.
Yes.
Because, you know, digital world has gone to a very bad extent, like that parent is saying. Because you remember when, like even when I was bringing my 3 children up, the lullabies were something physical. You sing a song to the child, you communicate with the child.
Yes.
Nowadays, they are all cartoons for that.
With a lot of hidden messages.
With a lot of hidden messages.
Yes.
So this is where we are telling that the parent has to be very intentional. You listen to a song and you don't agree with the content as per your child, you have to do something.
You have to do something.
You have to do something. Yeah, you have to do that something.
What are some telltale signs that a parent can see that can be indicators that my child is drifting off on the wrong path where this technology business is concerned?
Any change in behavior,
Uh-huh.
attitude of your child should be of concern.
Okay.
And for social media, because of now being on the phone for a long time, they tend to isolate themselves. Everybody is at the sitting room. There is one who wants to be at the bedroom.
Yes.
Even when you are outside, there is one who wants to be away from others. You have seen it even when, unfortunately, even when you go for funerals.
Yeah.
Even when you are at morgue. You see everybody else have been called together. There is one who wants to sit behind there and is still on phone. I have been engaged with even debriefing children, in even people. And
Yeah.
you realize those children, you talk to them, tell them, put you off your phone. At that particular day, they are still on social media. Who is this calling you the day you are burying your father or your mother or your sister?
Yeah.
So that addiction, we can call it
An addiction.
addictive behavior,
Yes.
is very dangerous.
Yes.
And we say every addiction has an underlying issue. So you should be concerned as a parent. If your child starts isolating themselves, if they start behaving funny, sometimes even changing their looks.
Ooh, that's a big one. That's a big one. Yes.
Yeah, you need to be concerned. From the way you communicate with them, just know what is happening in their world. Why all of a sudden you don't want to shave?
Yeah.
Some will refuse to shave even when they are going back to school and you are called again and sent home to go and shave. Or you are told to pay 500 shillings. We are bringing somebody to shave your son.
Yes.
Yeah, so, those things, you can be able to connect dots. But for a parent, not only on digital, even on mental health,
Yeah.
any change in behavior, in attitude, there are those who will not want to eat supper when others are eating. They want to eat after midnight.
After midnight.
There are those who will go home at 1 is when they are taking their breakfast.
Yeah.
So those funny behaviors, they should concern the parent.
Okay.
And especially sometimes you could be even talking to your children and they are not even hearing you because they are fully engaged. Their
Yes.
mind has been taken away. And something we have to say, because there is a lot of toxicity in the digital media, because some of those things, majority of what they consume, there is a lot of untruth in it.
Yes.
And they are not aware. So they take it as truth.
Yeah.
And there may be a lot of untruth in it.
True.
So we really need to regulate and be concerned, especially because we have said about self-esteem. You can see now your child, they look sad,
Yeah.
they are not happy, because maybe they are not able to match with what another
what-
child posted. And it could be untrue.
Yes.
They even take photos with very big vehicles.
That are not theirs.
And there's also a lot of cyberbullying. Yeah, there's a lot of it.
Yes.
Yeah, so they'll be body shamed on social media. I have parents who had to withdraw the phones because their children were suffering self-esteem because
Oh
of
my
what is
goodness.
going on. Sometimes you may have to do a radical thing, but also you need to regulate. Yeah, because if it is giving your child suicidal thoughts,
Yeah.
that
It's
one
not
you
worth
have
it.
to, it's not worth it.
It's not worth it. Wow.
Yeah.
Parting shot as we finish, especially to the parents who, we talked about this earlier, who are the ones who are actually addicted to their gadgets.
Yes.
And so this is what they're displaying before the
Yes.
children. What would you tell them?
What I would tell parents, be a digital role model.
Uh-huh.
So that hata ukiongea unasikika.
Unasikika. Yeah.
Unasikika.
Yeah.
So it is also good, even as we purpose to regulate how our children spend their time on social media and
Yes.
digital world,
Yes.
that we have also the capacity to self-regulate. And it is not all lost. If you find yourself there, there's a lot of help out there.
True.
And bringing up a child even traditionally, it was not a one-man thing. It was
Yeah.
a social and corporate responsibility.
True.
But unfortunately, we have destroyed that. But we are saying, even the church can become a village
Yeah.
that raises the child,
Yes.
the child to become a responsible person. So even religion and spirituality, not only the church, even those, the Islam and the others, they teach values and morals. So what we are saying that we need now because minus this traditional way
Yeah.
of parenting children,
Yeah.
we can use what we have. In churches, let us establish mentorship programs.
Yes.
Let us have teens programs. Let us have parents programs. Let us have couples programs. And we have these conversations.
True.
Nobody is an expert.
Yeah.
All parents make mistakes.
We are all
If you
learning.
look back, you see how mistake your dad did. You will also see yours. We are all learning.
Very true.
And we can do this together.
Very true.
Yes.
Imagine my time is up, Mary. But thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
You've given us some things to think about. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
God bless you, and God bless the viewers and the parents.
Amen.
Yes.
Wazazi mmesikia? We have work to do. We need to be intentional. We cannot put our heads in the sand and think all is okay. No. There's a lot of information out here that can help you understand some of these spaces our children are getting into, so that you can know then how to teach them and how to protect them. Because like our guest said, technology is here to stay. Yeah? New things are coming up every day. So, tuko na kibarua. Let's not just be ignorant of what's happening. Let's be there with our children, communicating, teaching, and being the good role models that we need to be. Our time is up for today. Thank you for being a part of Parenting Tuesday. Until next week on Tuesday, where we dive into another conversation, do have a good day. And remember, those who are sending in prayer requests, in the next hour on Family Radio 316, I will be taking some time to pray for some of these issues that you have sent in. Do have a good day.
Thank you for watching. Remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can get notified whenever we upload new fresh content every day. Stay tuned and enjoy fresh, uplifting content.